There's the old saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You ever heard that before? What happens if the basket breaks? It'd be nice to have a couple other baskets in reserve that you could draw from. But really, that's a lack of faith, isn't it? There's a saying by Andrew Carnegie, put all your eggs in one basket, but watch that basket carefully. We look at our S&P 500, if you've got that in your TSP, where your retirement, where it diversifies, it puts it in a lot of little baskets, so in case one basket goes bad, you got all these other baskets to take care of you. We hedge our bets, right? Or we actually bet against ourselves with health insurance. Say, I'll bet I won't make it, so I better put some money into this. We just don't want to be fully committed and say, no, this is the way we're going to go. Aha, that's it. But Jesus says this. He says, in your life, I am the one basket. There are no other baskets. Put all your eggs in that basket. And he does this in three ways. He picks the things that his audience, or his people listening to him, would be the most challenged to let him be Lord of before. And first of all, it is with his mother and father. And he says this, he says, whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And then he goes to a person's children. Whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And then finally he says, if there's anything else out there, he says, whoever does not take up his cross and follow after me is not worthy of me. In other words, he's saying everything else. Christ has to be first. Jesus has to be the lens through which we see our entire world. And the reason he does this, we're thinking, man, that Jesus is a tough guy. What he's saying is that this is the way it's supposed to be because there's only one God. And if you and I put all our eggs in the basket of a wife or children or our parents, that's an unfair burden to place on somebody to meet all our needs, right? Jesus says, I'm the one that can meet your needs. I'm the one that will always be there for you. And I'm the one that you need to put me first. And if you put me first, everything else will be okay. He doesn't say don't love them. He says, love me more, love God more. And this goes all the way back to Exodus chapter 20, first commandment. What's the first commandment? You shall have no other gods before me. Me first. And then your life is in the proper context of life, of how you're supposed to lead your life. And so we place all these eggs in Jesus, as it were. Put all our confidence in Him. We take risks. We live a life that says, I'm going to ride the end of my surfboard. I'm going to be right on the waves because I'm going to put my faith in God. And the more we're willing to live that way, the less we are putting eggs in other little baskets and really hoping that they'll pay off if Jesus just doesn't work. That's when you're set free. And the Christian life is learning how to live freely. The Son of Man came to set us free. And you'll be free indeed, as he says in John 8. But there's another way to look at this, where we're storing these eggs. And look with me to Matthew chapter 6, verses 19 through 21. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth. Stop putting all those little eggs in little baskets everywhere, where moth and rust consume and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust consumes and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Salvation is putting Christ in the front and living for Him, and through Him we experience our lives. Saint Charbel, a Lebanese saint from the late 19th century, he put it this way with regard to baskets. I changed it just a little bit to fit how we're trying this understanding of eggs in baskets. Every moment of your life is considered a basket that is entrusted to you to fill it with your harvest and with your fruits. The instant is brief. It disappears into the past, forever irreversible. Gather as many eggs as you can, in other words, right now. Store those in heaven. Is it easy for you to live a Christian life? Do you find it easy? That's a loaded question. Because if you say yes, you're saying, well, you must not be trying too hard. And if you say no, well, Jesus, my burden is easy and my load is light. But what if you said this? As we seek to follow and serve God, we accept whatever it is and we do our best and we realize that we will fall short. Who's a great example of falling short on putting eggs in baskets? Peter. He denied Jesus 3 times. And when Jesus came to him after he was risen from the dead and they're sitting by the water eating fish, he says, Peter, do you love me? And the word he uses there is agape, total love. Giving love, just completely absorbed and wanting to do what is what he wants. In other words, living for Christ. And Peter says, you know I love you, but the word he uses is phileo. I love you like a brother. I don't love you with that all-consuming love. He was being honest. And every time Jesus asked him 3 times, if you love me, he always said that. He says, you know all things, you know that I love you. But then Jesus gives him a promise. He says, one day you will love me by giving your life. God is very patient with us. Keep trying. Keep realizing that the Spirit of God is working in you. That baptism you received, you've already been risen from the dead. And all we have to do is figure it out how to live that way. Let me read one other thing from St. Charbel that he talks about these treasures. He says, if you stop to look behind you and you find that your basket is empty, only the tears of your conversion are capable of filling them through the mercy and grace of God. You and I will become one with God, but it will never be your efforts. It'll always be the grace of God working with you and in you. Let us participate in that gift that God has called us to live out.